Now, the greatest radio shows of all time.
Suspense.
The Shadow Node.
Washington calling David Harding, counter-spy.
Classic radio theater.
The Great Gildersleeve.
Fibber McGee and Molly.
Dragnet. Gunsmoke.
The Lone Ranger.
Now, step back into a time machine with your host, Wyatt Cox.
Good evening, friends of the Inner Sanctum.
A funny Monday with episodes of the Screen Directors Playhouse and the Paleface starring Bob Hope and Jane Russell. You Bet Your Life starring Groucho, Fibber McGee and Molly, and Boomer's Suitcase. Also Bud Abbott and Lou Costello, and of course Sam Shovel. And an episode of Claudia. That's all straight ahead on this Monday. This is the 3rd day of March, 62nd day of the year, 303 days remaining in 2025. U.S. Mint created by Congress in 1791. Alabama Territory created in 1817 by splitting the Mississippi Territory. Congress passed the Missouri Compromise on this date in 1820. It prohibited slavery in the former Louisiana Territory north of the parallel 36 degrees 30 minutes north, except within the boundaries of the proposed state of Missouri. 3630 is basically the southern border of Missouri. Florida admitted as the 27th state of the Union on this date in 1845, and on that same date, Congress passed legislation overriding a presidential veto. In 1849, the Department of the Interior established, and on that same date, Congress passed the Gold Coinage Act, allowing the minting of gold coins. Idaho Territory organized as a political division in 1863, and in 1865, Congress authorized formation of the Freedmen's Bureau, a federal agency formed during Reconstruction to aid distressed refugees of the Civil War. 1865, also that same date, the opening of the Hong Kong and Shanghai Banking Corporation, the founding member of the HSBC Group. In 1873, Congress enacted the Comstock Law, making it illegal to send any obscene, lewd, or lascivious books through the mail. In 1875, the first ever organized indoor game of ice hockey played in Montreal, as recorded in the Montreal Gazette. In 1877, Rutherford B. Hayes privately inaugurated as the 19th president. He would be publicly inaugurated 2 days later. A U.S. Geological Survey created on this date in 1879, and in 1885, the American Telephone and Telegraph Company incorporated in New York State. Kaiser Wilhelm II of Germany became the first person to make a sound recording of a political document in 1904 using Thomas Edison's cylinder. In 1910, J.D. Rockefeller Jr. announced his retirement from managing his businesses so that he could devote full time to being a philanthropist. In 1923, I have to say that carefully because I have been known as I'm talking about philanthropist, I will sometimes say philanderer, and I don't want to say that. Time magazine published for the first time on this date in 1923, Star Spangled Banner officially adopted as our national anthem on this date in 1931. 1933, Mount Rushmore National Memorial dedicated, and on that same date, Herbert Hoover, the president, signed the Norris-LaGuardia Act into law, opening the doors to increased unionization. Oil discovered on this date in 1938 in Saudi Arabia, and in 1966, a British Overseas Airways Boeing 707 flew into a mountain after the captain decided to give the passengers a close-up view of Mount Fuji. 124 people aboard killed.
10, 9, we have ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engines running. Commit. Liftoff. We have liftoff at 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time.
The launch of Apollo 9 by NASA on this date in 1969 to test the lunar module. Well, the Beatles no longer banned from radio airplay by the South African Broadcasting Corporation on this date in 1971. Ban had been in effect since August of 1966 in response to John Lennon's Beatles Bigger Than Jesus controversy. Lennon responded.
I wasn't saying the Beatles were better than Jesus or God or Christianity. I was using the name Beatles because I can use them easier. And I was using, because I can talk about Beatles as a separate thing. But I could have said TV or cinema or anything else that's popular.
However, the lifting of the ban did not extend to Lennon's compositions, vocals, or solo work. Those were still banned. An amateur video on this date in 1991 captured the beating of Rodney King by Los Angeles police officers. L.A. Mayor Tom Bradley stunned by what happened.
I am as shocked and as outraged as anyone.
But stunned by the aftermath was the victim himself, Rodney King, who after 2 or 3 days of the rioting went on the media, said, "Why can't we all just get along?" In 2002, the citizens of Switzerland narrowly voted in favor of their country becoming a member of the United Nations. In 2005, Steve Fossett became the first person to fly an airplane around the world solo without any stops, without refueling. A journey of 25,000 miles completed in 67 hours and 2 minutes.
You're a really lucky guy now. Got to achieve my ambition. Thank you.
Fossett, believed to have died in a plane crash in September 2007 in the Sierra Nevada mountains. His body wasn't recovered until almost a year later. 2017, the Nintendo Switch released to the public. Among deaths on this date in history, Lou Costello.
Hey, Abbott! What time is it? Why, it's time for the Abbott and Costello Show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood. Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello Show.
The funny man was really the laugh clown laugh. He had so many issues through his life with health, the death of his infant son by drowning. It was just horrible. And yet he always made us laugh. Lou Costello passing away on this date in 1959. Also, actor William Frawley. He was Fred Mertz in I Love Lucy. He was also Bub in My Three Sons. She was Gladys Kravitz in Bewitched. Alice Pierce passing away on this date. Also, actor, singer, comedian Danny Kaye. Dancer, dance instructor Arthur Murray. Broadcast executive Fred Friendly. The first man to run a 4-minute mile, Roger Bannister, passing away on this date. Charles Winchester on MASH, David Ogden Stiers, and actor Tom Sizemore, all passing away on this date in history. Among birthdays on this date, Scottish inventor Alexander Graham Bell, actress Jean Harlow, and Montgomery Scott. Scotty in the original Star Trek, James Doohan.
Klingons call you a tin-plated, overbearing, swaggering dictator with delusions of godhood.
Is that all?
No, sir. They also compared you with a Danubian slime devil.
I see.
And then they said that you were...
I get the picture, Scott.
Yes, sir.
And after they said all this, that's when you hit the Klingons.
No, sir.
No?
No, I didn't.
What was it they said that started the fight?
They called the Enterprise a garbage scow.
I see. And that's when you hit the Klingons.
Well, sir, this was a matter of pride.
Scotty, you're restricted to quarters until further notice.
Thank you, sir. That'll give me a chance to catch up on my technical journals.
In addition to being in the original Star Trek, he was in the animated series, and then he was in Star Trek The Motion Picture, and the Wrath of Khan, The Search for Spock, The Voyage Home, The Final Frontier, The Undiscovered Country, and he guest starred in Star Trek The Next Generation episode Relic, playing an elderly Scott, reminiscing about his time on the Enterprise. And he appeared briefly with William Shatner in Star Trek Generations, that scene which transitioned the film series to the newer cast of the first of the later TV series in the franchise. James Doohan, born on this date in history.
Hi, this is Jeff Foxworthy. It is now time for the birthday announcements. The following people are now officially older than dirt.
They include Jennifer Warnes, a right time of the night, up where we belong. She is 78 years old today. You remember the short, skinny guy Looked really nerdy in the Police Academy movies, also in Saturday Night Live. Tim Kazurinsky, 75 today. Tone Loc, the rapper, is 59. From Modern Family, Julie Bowen is 55.
We've had this conversation 100 times. Yeah, no, I'm not doing this again. You tell me what you did.
From Modern Family, Julie Bowen, 55 today. Bud from Married with Children, David Postino, 51. Mrs. Justin Timberlake, Jessica Biel, 43. From Fifth Harmony, Camila Cabello is 28. And the young guy, Jake, who did a wonderful song, Golden Hour, 24 years of age. Those just a few of the people celebrating the third day of March as their birthday. And if this is your birthday...
We baked you a birthday cake. If you get a tummy ache and you moan and groan and woe, don't forget we told you so. Happy birthday! Happy birthday!
Make a wish, dear, and blow out the candles.
Here they go.
We'll head to the movies in a moment for an episode of the Screen Directors Playhouse production of, Paleface, starring Bob Hope and Jane Russell. And that's next on this Monday, Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox.
It is the busy folks, particularly, who should listen to this bit of advice from the American Cancer Society. Regular physical examinations are important in the fight against cancer. Medical science today can cure many cancers if treatment is started soon enough. In other words, to cure cancer, it has to be discovered in its early stages. Regular physical examinations are one of the best ways in the world of detecting the condition in time. Another way is by knowing cancer's 7 danger signals. If you'd like a free list of them, plus a lot of other life-saving information, write today to the American Cancer Society in care of your local postmaster. Providing information to fight cancer is part of the American Cancer Society's job. Other vital parts of its job are to provide research, education, and service to cancer patients. You can help in the fight to beat cancer. This is Cancer Control Month by proclamation of Congress. To help, please send a contribution now to Cancer in care of your local postmaster.
Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we go back 75 years, March 3rd, 1950. The episode based on the movie The Paleface. And I say based on. You have the stars from it, Bob Hope and Jane Russell. But it's not a true adaptation. It's just kind of... You'll get the idea. The Screen Directors Playhouse with Bob Hope.
RCA Victor, world leader in radio, first in recorded music, first in television, proudly presents...
Screen Directors Playhouse, stars Bob Hope, Jane Russell, production The Paleface, director Norman MacLeod.
The Hollywood Screen Directors present The Reason the West Went Wild, the motion picture comedy The Paleface, starring Bob Hope and Jane Russell in their original roles of Painless Peter Potter and Calamity Jane. It's the Old West. The rootin', tootin', shootin' Old West. And there's trouble in the Indian country. Thousands of settlers are in danger because a band of renegade whites is smuggling rifles and dynamite to the Indians. In desperation, the governor has sent for the one person who might seek out the ringleaders, the famous two-gun frontier gal, Calamity Jane.
Jane, in here, the back way.
The governor's mansion. First time I ever walked in here of my own free will, with my guns on.
Jane, have you ever heard of a man named Preston? We think he's heading up a gang that's smuggling guns and dynamite to the Indians.
Well, why don't you stop him?
We can't. Every agent we've sent out has been murdered. Help us and the government will show its gratitude by freeing you of all charges.
Well, why pick on me?
Because you're the best shot in the country.
Suppose I take your offer.
There's a wagon train going west to Indian country from Deerfield. You'll join it. You must disguise yourself. And it's important that you get yourself a husband, too.
A husband? Why?
Well, Jane, it's secrecy we want. As man and wife, you'll be lost in the crowd. You leave for Fort Deerfield on the next stage.
So, Calamity Jane, in disguise, heads for Fort Deerfield to get her man. But somebody else in Fort Deerfield gets his man, too. It's Painless Peter Potter, the dentist.
Yes, sir. This will be the first tooth I ever pulled in Fort Deerfield.
You ever pulled him anywhere else?
Why, of course, my friend. Can't you see my sign? Painless Peter Potter. I pull teeth without pain. They wouldn't let me play this part till I left Pepsodent. Now, if you'll open wide.
Well, just remember this gun in my lap while you're looking. You see, it's this one right here, right next to the...
Please, no coaching from the audience, please. Now, let me see. The book says one can detect an ailing tooth by the dull sound it makes when struck lightly by a hammer. Sounds logical. Let's give it a try. There's the little doll. Now. Now for the gas.
What gas?
Laughing gas. I always use it on my patients. Kind of wish I'd use it on the audience here, too.
Is this stuff safe?
Safest thing in the world. Would you mind paying me now?
Laughing gas. Well, it better be good. I'm warning you, Doc.
Oh, don't be silly. It's harmless. Look, I'll take some myself. You see? Nothing happens.
Well, all right. Let's get it over with.
Oh, that's fine. Will you join me? Breathe deeply now.
Go ahead, Doc.
Open wide now. Steady. Steady now. That is your tooth, I think. Just look at that. Hey, I struck gold.
Oh, gold. That's my inlay. You pulled the wrong tooth.
Well, what do you know? You got a hole in your head.
I ought to put one in yours with a bullet.
Don't laugh so loud. You sound like Milton Berle's mother. What's the matter with you?
You yellow-livered coyote, I'll give you 15 minutes to get out of town.
Last town, I got 20 minutes. Come on, horses, move. You're slowing down.
Okay, move over, mister.
Oh, charmed, I'm sure. The name is Painless... Say, how did you get on my wagon?
I climbed over your tailboard.
Please, this program goes through Pasadena. Please.
All right, I'll take those reins.
Oh, sure, dear. I'm at your disposal.
Ho there, boys. Steady, steady. Come on around now. I gotta join that wagon train.
The wagon train's heading for Indian country.
Well, you're not afraid of Indians, are you?
Are you kidding? I lost my scalp on them last year. Cleveland tribe. Give me those... Give me those reins. I'm heading back home. Come on, boy. Come on. Now, make up your mind, kid. You going with me?
Mister, you got yourself a traveling companion. What's your horse so excited about?
That wasn't the horse. That was me.
Well, do we keep traveling?
Yeah, keep traveling. Keep them lips coming in the same direction. Closer. Hey, what have you got your gun in your hand for?
Well, this? What's in case somebody tries to interrupt us?
Oh, okay. I'm puckering up. Kiss me. Boy, can you kiss? Boy.
Well, it's too bad I had to slug you, son, but I gotta join that wagon train. Look for some goof dumb enough for me to marry.
Jane. Kiss me again.
A dumb goof. Painless. Hey, Painless, wake up. Wake up. You're just the man I was hoping to meet. You know, there's something about you that appeals to me. Wake up, dummy. We're going to get married.
You can tell this is a fantasy, can't you?
Well, we got married just in time. That wagon train's all ready to start. Don't forget, Painless, you promised to love, honor, and protect me.
Yeah, let's do it in the order named, huh?
Folks, now we're going to start moving. Everybody follow the wagon ahead of them. Don't want nobody taking a wrong turn, because we're in Indian country.
Indian country? Look, Jane, do we have to go?
Now, darling, listen, you were going to kiss me, remember?
Yeah, it's my scalp versus your kisses.
Come on, kiss me. Now.
Just call me Baldy. Stronger where your friends don't tote a gun. My bones denounce the buckboard bounce, and the cactus hurts my toes. Let's vamoose where gals keep using those silks and satins and linen that shows. And you're all mine in buttons and bows. Is that an opinion? Shh, quiet, Crosby, quiet. Can't you see she's sleeping?
Not anymore, I'm not. You just woke me up. Anyway, I better stay awake and... Hey, it's night. Where's the wagon ahead of us?
Wagon? Ahead of us?
Tarnation, you lost the wagon train.
I did not lose the wagon train. They lost me.
Now we're in for it, stupid. Alone in the Indian country.
You're not alone, I'm here.
How can you tell?
Look, Jane, there's a blockhouse. Whoa, boy.
Well, I guess we can spend the night there. Let's go.
Hey, wait for me. Gee, the two of us alone in our own little blockhouse.
That's what I get for marrying a blockhead.
Look, the door's open. Come, my bride, I'll lift you across the threshold. Just a...
Well?
No wonder Alvin Barkley waited so long. Well, here we are, alone at last.
Painless, would you get me a drink of cold water, please?
Yeah, well, water? Cold? Cold water. Well, that adds up. Now, let me see. All right, I'll go, but if I'm not back in 3 minutes, you know I fell down the well.
Maybe he'll be here in 3 minutes, but I won't. I'm going out and sleep in that wagon.
Sounds like Arthur Godfrey's backyard.
Painless, what are you doing?
Oh, I'm out here by the well shaving. I cut myself. Shaving too close. I'm certainly a nervous wreck. I'd better... Well, look what's here, an arrow. I wonder who shot it. Now, that shouldn't be too hard to figure. Who shoots arrows? Cupid? No, it couldn't be Cupid. William Tell? No, that's silly. Indian. Yeah. India? Hey, open up. Hey, come here.
I can't. I don't dast to open that door. I don't dast.
You better dast or I'll be diced. Hey, Jane! Jane, they're hitting me with arrows.
Where?
I don't like to say, but if I cut my suspenders, my pants will stay up. Open the window, please.
No, it's too late. I can't.
Honey, you're too young to be a widow.
Listen, I'm throwing a couple of guns out there for you. You grab them and take care of yourself.
All
Get
right.
some cover. Get in that barrel.
Wait a minute, that's a pickle barrel. I could end up with marinated hips. Wait a minute. guns. Here they are. Get in the barrel. There you are. Hiya, bud. What's new? Gotta get hold of myself. Imagine talking to a pickle. Shoot? How do you do it? Guns? I hope they're loaded. I wish I was, too. Darn it, why didn't I pay attention during those Hopalong Cassidy pictures?
They're rushing us, Painless.
Oh, they're attacking. Boy, if these were water pistols, I'd drown them to death. Might as well shut my eyes and shoot. Hey, I got one. Let's try that again. This is more fun than canasta. All right, Redskin, Painless Peter Potter has the range. Take this. What do you know? 3 Indians with 1 bullet, huh? Shoot arrows at me, will ya? That thinned him out. Here comes the last one. Boy, gun's empty. You must have scared him to death. Jane, we just ran out of Indians. I'm getting out of the barrel.
Painless, are you all right?
Yeah. But I'm a little weary of it all. Killing 19 Indians before breakfast.
You killed 19 Indians.
Count them.
But it was me who shot the...
Hey, what's been going on here?
Well, Painless, look, it's the wagon train.
We heard the shooting and turned back, and holy smoke. Look at all them dead Injuns. Hank, everybody, come here. Come running. Brother, I gotta shake your hand.
Just hang on to mine. It'll shake for both of us.
Painless, why didn't you tell me you were so brave?
Well, I couldn't. I was up to my neck in that pickle barrel. I had cold dills running up and down my spine.
Yep, we'd have been goners without you drawing off all them redskins.
You're a hero, Painless.
Speed!
Well, okay. Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, I'd like to say a few words.
Let's get out of here before those redskins get back.
Those are the words. Come on.
You are listening to the Screen Directors Playhouse production of The Paleface, starring Bob Hope and Jane Russell, and presented by RCA Victor. In 1850, the accepted symbol of the happy American home was a fireplace. In 1950, it's an RCA Victor television set. If that symbol hasn't yet become a reality in your home, it may be because you don't realize how RCA Victor has brought down the price of quality television this year. Take just one of their new 1950 16-inch consoles, the TC-167, which is yours for about $400. Its cabinet is so superb you wouldn't be surprised if the price tag applied to it alone. Yet inside, at a mere flick of a switch, the whole television world rolls towards you with a brilliance of sight and sound which only the world leader in electronics can achieve. See all the new television models at your RCA Victor dealers. Every one of them bears the unmistakable touch of the master hand. Every one goes to your home with the time of your life guarantee. Now, back to the Screen Directors Playhouse production, The Paleface, starring Bob Hope and Jane Russell in their original roles of Painless Peter Potter and Calamity Jane. Well, the shooting's over, for the moment at least. Painless and Jane have rejoined the wagon train and moved on triumphantly to Buffalo Flats. And, of course, Painless is still unaware that his wife is none other than two-gun Calamity Jane, a government agent tracking down a gun runner named Preston. In the saloon at Buffalo Flats, all is gaiety. And our dauntless dentist is the hero of the hour.
Okay, set them up. Everybody in the house. This here's another round on me. Bartender. Celery tonic for everybody. Set up.
Oh, Mr. Painless, you're wonderful. I sure would be proud to claim you for a friend.
Oh, I should say not. I'm a married man. But keep after me, though. Underneath it all, I'm a cad. Bartender, where are those drinks? See what the boys in the back room will have.
Partner, nobody bothers the boys in the back room. They're talking business.
All right, Jeb, we won't be disturbed back here.
I am listening, Mr. Preston.
Now, we've got word that the governor has sent another agent snooping around. It's supposed to be a dead shot.
What's his name?
Well, from the looks of things, I'd say his name was Painless Potter.
Oh, so that painless dentist have that just a front, huh?
Yeah, we'll put him away, all right. Hey, what about the dynamite?
I brought it up in the wagon.
Okay, leave it there.
What are you going to do about that dentist, Mr. Preston?
Now, listen. Yellow Feather's waiting on the edge of town. Go tell him to send me 6 of his braves.
Here it is, Janie, our own private room. We're all set, honey. Room and running water. They got a guy who'll run for it.
No, Painless, it wouldn't be fair.
Sure, it's fair. They give him a good salary. $3 a week and all he can drink.
Darling, you're just too modest to understand. Huh? You're a hero, a man apart.
Yeah, but I can get it all back together with Scotch tape.
Look outside there, dear.
Yeah?
Once that was a forest.
Yeah?
Then it became a trail.
Yeah?
Then a town. And someday it'll be a city.
Yeah, that's what I like, progress. And I'm not making any.
Wait a minute, Painless. It'll be a city, darling, with the statue of a great man.
Yeah?
And do you know whose statue it'll be?
Yeah, the guy who invented girls.
Wait, Painless. It'll be a statue of Painless Potter.
Huh?
Yes, sir, and under the statue it'll say, Painless Potter, the intrepid hero who saved an entire wagon train by killing 19 Indians.
19 and a half. There was a midget in there someplace.
Well, you're a hero now. You belong to the people. Our marriage won't work, Painless. We're through. The game is over.
Over? I never got past scrimmage.
I'm sorry, Painless. It's just over, that's all.
Oh, this is great. Great. I give up my career, take you out here in a wagon train, save your life by killing 23 Indians, and now you want to get rid of me.
Painless, I'm not the only girl. Believe me, there are other fish in the sea.
Yeah, and I'm going out and cast some bait. Hey, maybe I should have kissed her goodbye. What do you know, even thinking about it?
Paleface, heap, tough skull. Papado, take Paleface to Chief Yellow Feather now.
Painless, was that you? Did you...
Take him, squaw, too. Quick, go see Chief.
Boy, the accommodation in this Indian camp are sure crummy. Why didn't we ask for the bridal teepee?
Painless, listen, we're in trouble. Bad trouble.
Yeah, I don't understand why these guys are so mad at me.
I guess it's time you did know, Painless. You're in this mess because a renegade named Preston mistook you for somebody else.
Who?
Me.
Are you kidding?
Painless, I'm not what you think I am.
Well, you're Jane, my wife.
I'm Calamity Jane.
Yeah, well, that's a pretty nickname. You, Calamity Jane? The two-gun outlaw?
Not anymore, Painless. The governor said that he'd clear me if I tracked down Preston. I'm a federal agent. And you were mistaken for me because they thought you killed all those Indians.
Then it wasn't me shot all them Indians?
No.
Not even one?
No, I shot them all.
And any minute I could have been killed?
Yes.
They're selling a lot of Pontiacs today. Me, a hero. I bet I sure been handing you a laugh. I'll tell you what they ought to write on that statue. Painless Potter, poop head of the Pecos.
Painless.
What now?
There's one more thing I gotta tell you. I gotta tell you that I love you.
This another laugh?
No, Painless. I think you're the kindest, bravest man I ever knew.
Listen, we gotta get out of here.
How?
That's what I'm wondering, how?
Oh.
Jane, it's the guard, Wapato. That's our chance. You palaver him, I'll sneak up behind him and conk him. Go ahead.
All right. Wapato.
What White Squaw want?
White Squaw want talk with Indian brave. White Squaw like big, strong men. Wapato big and strong.
Wapato weak when White Squaw talk.
Boy, can I kiss. Come on, Jane. I'll take his knife and cut the back of the teepee. Let's go.
Painless, look, a wagon and some horses.
Come on, we gotta get out of here.
We'll never make it without guns.
There might be some in the wagon. I'll take a look.
Hey, and I'll unhitch the horses.
Gee, it's awful dark in here. Can't see a thing. I better light a match. Nope, no guns, nothing but a lot of barrels. I wonder what's in them. Candles. Ain't logical, candles. Why should they pack them in sawdust? I wonder what the...
Painless, drop that match. Do you want them all to see it? There, they've seen us.
Yellow Feather, they're escaping.
Oh, that must be Preston. We'll have to run for it. Come on.
I'm coming.
Jump on that horse. Hey, wait a minute. That horse's harness is still hitched to the wagon.
That's my garter belt. Come on, let's go. Go, boy!
They got the horses off the wagon. Get after them. We gotta get them. Hold on. Come on, hold you. If they get away, we're all... Wait a minute, the wagon. Something's burning in there. The dynamite.
The governor's very grateful, Painless. If those Indians had ever gotten hold of that dynamite, every white settler in the territory would have died.
Well, it's all over, dear. Now we can settle down to our honeymoon.
Oh, darling, I can't. The governor's got another job for me.
Oh, but Jane.
The Blackfeet are getting ready to go on the warpath.
But...
Don't you see? It's my duty, Painless. And this time he wants me to go alone. I'm sorry. Will you kiss me goodbye? Darling, how you can kiss.
Sorry I have to use my gun, sister, but this is important. Let Swan Soap take care of the Blackfeet.
You have just heard the last act of The Paleface. Our stars, Bob Hope and Jane Russell, and our guest screen director, Norman MacLeod, will be with us in just a moment. Next Friday, a great dramatic star brings one of his most powerful performances to the Screen Directors Playhouse. Our story is Portrait of Jenny, and recreating his original role will be Joseph Cotton, with screen director William Dieterle. Now, here again are tonight's stars, Bob Hope and Jane Russell. Hear that applause? Oh, they loved you, Jane.
Oh, thank you, Jimmy, but I wasn't...
Oh, now, don't be modest, Jane. When it comes to a really lovable, fresh, talented young star, there's no one in the world to compare with...
Hi, everybody.
Look, Bob, if you don't mind, Jane happens to be one of Hollywood's leading fans for RCA Victor's 45 automatic record changer and records. And I was hoping to get her all to myself to discuss them.
Well, you were hoping against hope.
Now, Jane, about your 45.
I have a 45, too, you know. A portable, if it's intimate detail you want.
Why, Bob, my 45 record changer's a portable, too. Isn't it the lightest little thing? Even when it's loaded with those 10 tiny records.
I'll say, when I first picked up my 45, I didn't know it was loaded. You know, Janie? If we should happen to meet on the lot someday, both of us carrying our 45s, we could make beautiful music together. In fact, even without our 45s.
What first attracted you to the 45, Jane?
Why, Jimmy, the marvelous choice of records. RCA Victor really has the very best of everything on the 45. The classics, the folk songs, the pops.
Speaking of pops, I see where RCA Victor has just signed up Margaret Truman. Forgive me, Margaret.
The trouble with Bob is, Jimmy, he's jealous because RCA Victor never asked him to record for them.
Yeah, Jimmy, I could make a great 45 record. On one side, I'd revive my first giant song hit, Thanks for the Memory, for people to send in with their income tax checks.
And on the other side, Bob, you could say thanks to RCA Victor for bringing the finest recorded music within everybody's reach, even kids. You know, the 45 automatic record changer that you plug into a radio costs only $12.95.
Yeah, well, even my old dad, Jack Benny, can buy one of those.
And prices on the 45 records start as low as 46 cents. It's no wonder the 45 is sweeping the country. Get your 45 soon at your RCA Victor dealers.
Jane, gal, I hear tell we've got us a real live director here tonight.
That's right, partner. We got him hog-tied, hornswoggled, and ready to be branded.
Well, let's run him out here, huh? Ladies and gentlemen, Jane and I want you to meet the director of The Paleface and the creator of such grand films as Topper.
And The Secret Life of Walter Mitty.
And Pennies from Heaven, starring a pooped-out prop boy named Crosby.
Our director, Norman McLeod.
Thank you, Jane and Robert.
Gee, it must be great to be a director. How'd you start, Norman?
Well, I took the university course that I thought would be most helpful in handling actors.
What's that?
Ichthyology.
Ichthyology?
Yeah, the study of fish.
I'm not sure, but I think I've just been insulted.
Well, on the level, Bob, when you get right down to it, what's the difference between fish and actors?
Well, the fish get free fish food, you see.
And fish don't have directors.
Yeah, that's where we have it all over the halibut. Both Jane and I know, Norman, that with you calling the shots, we're pretty safe out there in front of the cameras.
Thank you, Bob.
Imagine a director of fish expert. Now I know why that Crosby picture he made was such a success. Good night, Norman, Jane.
Good night, Bob.
Good night, everyone.
And good night to you, Bob Hope, Jane Russell, and Norman McLeod. Remember next Friday, Joseph Cotton in Portrait of Jenny with screen director William Dieterle, brought to you by RCA Victor, world leader in radio, first in recorded music, first in television. The Paleface was presented through the courtesy of Paramount Pictures, whose current release is the Hal Wallace production Paid in Full, starring Robert Cummings, Elizabeth Scott, and Diana Lynn. Bob Hope appeared through the cooperation of Lever Brothers, and his current release is the Paramount picture The Great Lover. Bob Hope and Jane Russell are currently appearing in person at the Paramount Theater in New York. Jane Russell can currently be seen in the Howard Hughes production The Outlaw, an RKO release. Norman McLeod's next Paramount release is Let's Dance, starring Betty Hutton and Fred Astaire. Portions of tonight's program were transcribed. Original music was composed and conducted by William Lava. Screen Directors Playhouse is produced by Howard Wiley with dramatic direction by Bill Karn. This is Jimmy Wallington speaking and inviting you to listen again next Friday when RCA Victor presents
Screen Directors Playhouse, star Joseph Cotton, production Portrait of Jenny, director William Dieterle. Now hear Jimmy Durante and Don Amici on NBC.
75 years ago, March 3rd, 1950, the Screen Directors Playhouse on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll find out what the secret word is in just a moment from George Fenneman as we continue with an episode of You Bet Your Life.
Maybe you're about to hit the jackpot. Maybe you're on the point of inheriting $500,000 or finding oil. Chances are, though, that none of these lovely things will happen. Chances are, if you want a bonanza in the future, you'll have to save it up. Now, there are a number of ways to do that. Some people stuff their mattresses, stash their cash behind a loose brick in the fireplace, or slip it under a floorboard. None of these methods make sense because money so stored isn't making a cent for you. Not only that, it may get lost or stolen. Wouldn't you rather your savings made more money for you? Wouldn't you rather have them theft-proof, loss-proof in every way?
Of course you would. And you can the United States Savings Bond way. Through the payroll savings plan where you work or the bond-a-month plan where you bank. $3 will get you $4 on maturity every time. Nicest thing of all, it's literally impossible to lose your money.
If Baby shreds your bonds into confetti and drops them out the window, you can recover your cash plus interest in United States Savings Bonds.
Let's spend a few minutes with Groucho Marx and an episode of You Bet Your Life from March 3rd, 1958, as George Fenneman tells us the secret word.
Ladies and gentlemen, the secret word is room. R-O-O-M.
Really?
You bet your life. The National Broadcasting Company presents Groucho Marx in You Bet Your Life, the comedy quiz show transcribed from Hollywood. Groucho meets our first contestants in just 1 minute.
May 1945. The armies of the Allies hurl themselves against the desperate last-ditch resistance of Hitler's Wehrmacht. Advance across the shell-torn German countryside with victory in sight. But when would it come? When would the terrible slaughter end? How many more good men would fall before victory and peace become a reality? May 1945, a time of hoping, a time of waiting. It was NBC newsman Morgan Beatty who broke the story, and exclusive. Heinrich Himmler had made an offer of German surrender to the Allies. Morgan Beatty, cited for outstanding radio reporting, is typical of the top NBC newsmen who bring you news on the hour. This is Chet Huntley inviting you to be with us as the news breaks on News on the Hour, all day, every day, over most of these same NBC stations.
And here he is, the one, the only...
Well, here I am again with a chance for each of our couples to win up to $10,000. And if any of them say the secret word, they'll win an extra $100.
Groucho, I have Leroy Hough and Esther Freeson on deck, so folks come in, please.
On deck? This is rather nautical, isn't it? Huh?
Well,
You haven't got them on deck. Now, that's silly.
No, it's a figure of speech.
You mean they're... yes. You mean they're hiding out here, is that it?
Well, that's one way of putting it, yes.
Yeah, well...
Would you people come out and show them you're not hiding anymore? Now? There we are.
Welcome to You Bet Your Life. Say the secret word and divide an extra $100. It's a common word, something you find around the house, assuming that you have one. Now, your name is Esther Freeson Leroy, is that right?
Just Esther Freeson.
Esther Freeson and Leroy Hough, is that right?
No, that's Hough, Groucho. H-O-U-G-H.
How can it be Hough?
Well...
D-O-U-G-H is bow, isn't it? Therefore, H-O-U-G-H must be pronounced Hough, right?
No, Groucho, T-O-U-G-H spells tough.
Well, how about S-O-U-G-H? That's sow.
Sow spelled S-O-W.
What's that?
Sow spelled S-O-W.
Sow is spelled S-O-W? I'm not talking about a female pig. I'm talking about the rustle of the wind. That kind of a sow is S-O-U-G-H.
That's pronounced Sue.
No, Sue is S-U-E, like Sault Ste. Marie, which actually is spelled S-I-O-U-X. You say you pronounce H-O-U-G-H, Hough. How do you pronounce D-O-U-G-H?
That's dough.
Then I'll just call you Mr. Ho. Is that right? All right. Now, Esther, tell me where you're from and say it in Chinese.
I don't know Chinese, but I can tell it to you in Spanish.
All right, tell me in Spanish. What part of China were you born in?
San Diego.
San Diego is in China?
No, that's in California. I was born in San Diego. I'm American by birth, but Mexican by heritage.
Oh. What is your last name, Esther?
Freeson.
Freeson is your last name? Well, that's about as Spanish as apple strudel.
Well,
I thought you were of Mexican descent.
Well, I am, and my full name is Esther Constancia Josefina Murúa Suárez M. de Villagrana Freeson.
You know, I was in Mexico City last year, and I had a little toothache, and I had one of the dentists there pull one of my teeth. This tooth was of Mexican extraction. You like that? He's got nice teeth, hasn't he?
Yes, he has.
Could you go for him?
No, he's not my type.
That's not a very nice thing.
I'm sorry.
You wouldn't want him to throw his arms around you, huh?
No.
Don't you ever feel an impulse to throw your arms around him?
No, not around him.
Around me?
Uh-huh.
The new year's being good to me.
But we'd have to be in a room all by ourselves.
Well, I would hope so. You said we'd have to be in a room all by myself, and that's the secret word for tonight. So you get yourself $50, and your friend here, whom you despise, he gets $50. All right, back. Well, Leroy, let's talk to you. Where are you from?
I was born, reared, educated in Kansas City, Groucho.
Well, what did you do in Kansas City? You hang around the stockyards?
Well, they're there.
Yes.
After finishing my education, I went to work for the Western Union. And I worked for them for 18 years. Matter of fact, it's about the only thing I've ever done.
You were a messenger boy?
Yes, sir. Started off as a messenger boy and worked in a number of jobs.
You say it's the only thing you've ever done?
Yes.
Can't be the only thing. You're married, aren't you?
Yes, I came to...
well, you see, you have done something besides work for Western Union. Isn't that true?
Yes, I came to California and got married, but even that was a Western Union.
Did you hear them moaning out there? You know, I don't know whether you know this, but that joke is so old that it's wired together.
Well, it's a fact.
It's a good job, a good joke, and it's lasted a long time. What is your job with Western Union? Surely you're not a messenger boy now. You sell those Western Union suits?
My job at this time is assistant sales manager.
Oh, is that what what are some of the services that Western Union has to offer these days that Postal Telegraph doesn't? Aren't they in business anymore?
Well, first place Postal went out of business in 1943.
I haven't been out of the house in a few months.
We have many services, Groucho. One of the important services we have is that of marketing research.
Well, what is the market and research service? You mean to tell you when the stocks are going up and down?
No, that's a service that we will perform for a client, for a firm, to determine the effectiveness of their advertising or of a product. And also, we
You can't make the market go up, huh?
Also, we can't. Groucho, we have a telephone service where we call the general public at random and find out their favorite television
random?
show.
Is that near here?
We select the names from a telephone directory.
Oh, you said you call the public at random. You just pick up a phone and call anybody, like TV surveys?
Yes, we perform to find out what the favorite television show, for example.
Really?
Yes, sir.
Could you show us how you operate?
Be delighted to, Groucho.
George Fenneman, would you come out here and put your shoes on first, George? There's a lot of women out front, yeah. Have we got a telephone back here with a long extension?
Yes, I'm sure we do.
Well, why are you so sure? I mean, you know definitely?
I know that we've got two or
Could
three.
you bring it out here and bring a phone book, too, and we're going to test this man's skill at surveys.
All right, Groucho. And while I'm locating them, it'll give us a chance to take care of some very important business. This is a cue, fellas. We'll be back in just a moment with You Bet Your Life.
When you swing and sway to a Latin beat, life is lovely, life is sweet.
You make it Pabst, 'cause Pabst makes it perfect.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect. Just as we always have ever since 1844. So next time, you make it Pabst, because Pabst makes it perfect. America's Blue Ribbon beer from the Pabst Brewing Company, Milwaukee, Wisconsin.
Yes, Pabst makes it perfect.
Now, you know, I'm personally interested in this television survey. Esther, you open the book and pick a name at random. And if you can't find one at random, take Eagle Rock or some other city right there. You got a number that you want? Mm-hmm. All right, now, I'll hold it and you dial it.
All right.
She dials like a dog.
Hello.
Oh, no, hello? I'll talk to her. Hello? There's no answer here. It's ringing, but I think they're loaded or something. They may have gone out to the movies. Horseback ride. It's gone 4 times. Did you try a bank that closes at 3 o'clock?
No, I took a name, Mr. Marx.
No, this won't do it. You'll have to try it again. All right, give it a try now. Right?
09881. Huh?
Mm-hmm. Hope it's not the police.
It's busy.
That means there's a woman on the wire.
Okay, I have one.
All right, try it again.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be awful if nobody was home? All over America. Can you all hear this, actually?
Yeah.
Lord, 4535.
Yes. Hello. This is Western Union, and we're making a survey. Could you tell me what your favorite television show is? Hello?
Well, there's no one in the office. This is an answering service.
I guess nobody is home in Los Angeles. I hope you kids out there have no place to go tonight. This may take months. That's a business to be in, you know. Owning a telephone company. People are talking all the time. City jail.
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
This is Smith.
Hello? This is Western Union. We're making a survey. Could you tell me what your favorite television show is?
Well, I just recently got a television set, a brand new one.
And what show do you like the best?
Well, I'm new here in Los Angeles. I've only been here 3 months.
Yeah.
I'll have to just think about it a minute. I really like science fiction theater. Very good.
Science fiction theater?
Science fiction theater. It's one of my favorite.
Do you ever watch Groucho Marx?
Very seldom. I have seen once or twice.
Don't you like him?
Oh, yes, I like him very much.
Well, why don't you watch him more often?
Well, I'm not in at the time he's on very often.
You do night work?
Oh, yes, I work at night quite a bit.
I'm sorry to hear that. You should. This is Groucho Marx talking.
Really?
Yes, really. I was curious to know.
Can you prove that?
Can't you tell by the timbre of my voice?
It sounds like it.
Well, this is Groucho Marx.
I heard all those people laughing there, and I would...
Well?
I thought I was being tricked.
No, you're not being tricked. This is Groucho Marx, and you get a job in the daytime and stay home at night and watch my show.
Indeed, I will. Yes, sirree.
Okay, now take care of yourself.
Okay, thank you, sir.
Bye. You did like the show. Should we try it again? All right, we'll try one more call. And Leroy, this time you do it, huh? Now, wait a minute. I'm going to write down a number, and I want you to call it. Okay? He's busy. I'll kill him. You'll find just how crooked this survey business is.
Good evening. This is the Survey Department of Western Union calling. Would like to find out just what is your favorite television show?
My favorite television show?
Yes.
I like You Bet Your Life.
Why do you like that show?
Well, mainly because my father's on it.
And what is your name? What is your name?
Melinda Marx.
Who?
Melinda Marx.
I believe this is someone for you, Groucho.
Linda?
Yes?
This is your old pappy.
Ah, what are you doing?
Yeah, well, we're calling up a lot of people and finding out what shows they like. And And you really like the Groucho Marx show?
Mm-hmm.
Well, you take care of yourself. When I get home, I'll tuck you in with the extra blanket.
All right.
And
Who are
goodbye.
you calling up, though?
Oh, we're calling up a lot of people. Just we happened to call you. I was curious to know what your real feelings were about my show.
All right.
Good night, dear.
Good night.
George? I want you to take this phone out and have it gold-plated. It's a very honest telephone. You get very honest surveys when you use this phone. And George, have Melinda gold-plated, too, while you're at it. Now then, we're ready to play You Bet Your Life and see if you can win some money here. You've selected cities and small towns of the United States. I'll give you 4 cities or towns in a particular state, and you identify the state. If you miss 2 in a row, you're finished. If you get 4 in a row right, you win $1,000. Now, in what state are these places? Madeira, Mariposa, El Centro, and Placerville, or Placerville?
California.
Placerville. California is right.
You have one right.
That was pretty easy, wasn't it, eh?
No.
Well, it was for me, because I was born in Massachusetts. Now, here are the places. You tell me what state they're in. Kissimmee, Jacksonville, and Fort Myers.
Florida.
Florida's right.
That's right. That's right.
You have 2 right, 2 more right, and you'll have your $1,000.
In what state are these cities and towns? Winchester, Rock Island, Vienna, and Cairo.
Illinois.
Illinois is right.
You now have 3 right. Get the next one right, and you'll have $1,000.
Now, here are the cities and towns. Pawtucket, Lakewood, Quonset Point, and Central Falls. What is the state?
Rhode Island.
Rhode Island is right.
You got 4 in a row, you win $1,000.
Now you won $1,000. You can keep it and quit, or else you can come back later and try to double your money. You may even get a chance at $10,000. So go over there and sit down and think about it. And no matter what you decide to do, thanks for being on the show.
Thank you, We'll find out if Mrs. Freeson and Leroy Hough will try for $10,000 in just a moment.
For the big things in your life, be ready with United States savings bonds. Now better than ever. Yes, sending the children to college, planning your retirement, building your own dream home. These are the big things you can be ready for. How? Well, the easy way to save is through the payroll savings plan where you work. For this offers you an opportunity to save regularly. Your boss simply sets aside any amount you name each week. And before long, you'll be the proud owner of a stack of Series E savings bonds. And you don't miss the money because you don't see it. These savings bonds mount up mighty fast, too, each one paying you more interest than ever before, 3.25% in a shorter maturity period of 8 years and 11 months. So be ready for the big things in your life. Before next payday, sign up in the payroll department where you work for United States savings bonds. You'll be mighty glad you did. Or buy Series E savings bonds right where you bank.
And now, George, what's the story on the big question?
Leroy Hough and Esther.
How, isn't it?
Who?
How?
Huff, I think he said.
Oh.
I
think he left in a huff, didn't he?
Esther Freeson. Oh, there they are, yes.
Oh, here they are. You won $1,000 so far. If you decide to try for the 10 and you fail, you wind up with a total of $500. Now, what are you going to do?
We're going to try,
You're
Mr.
going to
Marx.
try, all right. You pick a number from 1 to 10 and then spin the wheel. If any number besides the one you pick comes up, the question is worth $2,000. If the number you pick comes up, the question is worth $10,000. Clear?
Clear.
What number do you want?
9.
Turn it.
I'm sorry.
Oh, it's going to be close. It's going to be close. Well, everybody is rooting for you except the sponsor. You took number 9, and it came up 9, so this question is worth $10,000. I wish you both lots of luck. In ancient Greece, so the story goes, a cynical philosopher toured the countryside with a lantern. looking for an honest man. For $10,000, who is this famous Greek? Talk it over. Easy. All right, what's the answer you two have decided upon?
We're just going to have to guess. Neapolitus?
No, you should have known this.
I know
It's Diogenes.
Oh.
I'm sorry you missed it. We really would like to have lost the money.
Would you?
Yes, we would have. But anyway, you wound up with $500. That isn't too bad. Congratulations, and thanks for being with us. You won $100 in the secret word, too, didn't you?
No, just 50.
Oh, well, each 50. So
Yes.
you got a total of 600.
It was fun anyway.
It's a night's work, anyhow. And you had the opportunity to throw your arms around me, which is saying you weigh 3 cents. Well, thanks anyway for showing.
You Bet Your Life is transcribed in Hollywood. Produced by John Goodell. Directed by Robert Dwan and Bernie Smith. Music by Jack Meakin. This is George Fenneman reminding you to tune in again next week, same time, same station, to hear the one, the only Groucho. And see Groucho every Thursday evening on NBC television. You Bet Your Life is heard by our armed forces around the world.
Now, if they had been listening to Lum and Abner, they would have known that. But they didn't, so they didn't. Alrighty, Groucho, You Bet Your Life, 67 years ago, March 3rd, 1958, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. Comedy again tomorrow with episodes of the Ford Theater, The Horn Blows at Midnight, starring Jack Benny from 1949, The New Edgar Bergen Hour with Charlie McCarthy from 1956, and Superman. That's all coming up on our Tuesday show. Now, on Wednesday, we'll have Gunsmoke. We'll also have Calling All Cars, Did Justice Triumph, and The Adventures of Frank Merriwell. On Thursday, an hour-long episode of Suspense, Night Beat, and Mr. President. And then, let's see, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. That was Friday. Let's see. Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Yeah, Friday will be The Lives of Harry Lime, and also The Adventures of Sherlock Holmes, This Is Your FBI, and X-1. That's what's coming up on the next few days here. Catch up with us anytime at classicradio.stream. Up next, Fibber McGee and Molly.
Mark Twain used to say, everybody talks about the weather, but nobody does anything about it. We might add, everybody talks about the bad conditions in our schools, but nobody does anything about it. But no, that wouldn't be quite fair. Today, good citizens all over the country are working to improve our schools. It's true that in many communities, schools are outmoded, run down, and overcrowded. But in most of those communities, intelligent, responsible citizens are joining together to improve conditions. If you'd like to do your part, join and work with local civic organizations that are trying to make educational conditions better. If you'd like to know what other communities are doing to improve their schools, just write to the National Citizens Commission for the Public Schools, 2 West 45th Street, New York, 36, New York. That's the National Citizens Commission for the Public Schools, 2 West 45th Street, New York, 36, New York. Remember, better schools build a stronger America.
Thank you, Don Pardo. Now on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox, we hear from another announcer, Waxy. Harlow Wilcox, with an episode of Fibber McGee and Molly, 83 years ago, March 3rd, 1942. What's in the suitcase?
The Johnson Wax Program with Fibber McGee and Molly. The makers of Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat present Fibber McGee and Molly, written by Don Quinn, with songs by the King's Men and music by Billy Mills. The show opens with New Sun in the Sky. thing about this war, it's bringing people in all communities closer together. It offers more and more of us, men, women, and children, opportunities to be of service. Many of you ladies face the problem of keeping your homes up, taking care of your families in less time, so you can give part of your time to defense work when needed. Anything that can save you unnecessary work is welcome, which means that in millions of homes, Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat is most certainly welcome. With Glow Coat, you can keep your linoleum and other floors clean and beautiful and save hours of work. You do away with floor scrubbing, and you save again because there's no rubbing or buffing required with Glow Coat. The regular use of Glow Coat makes linoleum last 6 times longer than an unprotected floor. If you have signed our government's consumer pledge to take better care of the things you have, you'll find Glow Coat a great help. Be sure you get the real thing, Johnson's self-polishing Glow Coat. We indignantly deny that Wistful Vista is a one-horse town, but we cheerfully admit that the McGees are a one-horse family. And here with Lillian, that's the horse, in the garage, and her co-owners in the living room, one lying on the sofa and the other knitting, we find Fibber McGee and Molly.
McGee, why don't you go out and shovel off the front walk? You'll get fat lying down like that right after a hearty lunch.
Hey, maybe I better at that. I won't be available very much till after March 15th, you know.
Where'll you be until March 15th?
Oh, you know, deep in the heart of Texas. Wow. The way our outgo eats up our income. Hey, that reminds me. Did you feed the horse?
Yes, I fed her while you were snoring here on the sofa.
I was not snoring. I'm merely a baritone breather. What'd you give Lillian? Did you give her her oats?
Yes, but she didn't seem to like them very much.
I never heard of an nag that didn't like oats. Must be off her feed.
Yes, she probably looked in the window and saw you eating like a horse and got jealous.
No kidding, Molly. Wouldn't she eat her oats?
Well, not all of them. Maybe I put too much cream and sugar on them.
Cream and sugar on Lillian's oats? Oh, my goodness.
Yeah, and then I tried her with some cornflakes. She liked those fine. She ate 4 boxes of them.
4 boxes? Oh, well, that ain't so much for a growing horse.
Say, you know, McGee, she's got bad table manners, too.
Huh?
She kept blowing the cornflakes off the spoon like this, you know.
I guess I better feed her myself after this, Molly. I know more about...
Come in.
Well, I'll be Horatio K. Boomer.
Hello, Mr. Boomer.
Good day, my dear, and a tittering Tuesday to you, Titmouse.
Haven't seen you for a long time, Boomer. What you been doing?
Frankly, my pestiferous young pickle puss, I've been working for the government for the past 90 days as an Arkansas geologist.
Well, what on earth is an Arkansas geologist, Mr. Boomer?
Very interesting profession. We take big rocks and make little rocks.
I catch on. One of those jobs where you're board and room are thrown in after you are.
Exactly.
By the way, Boomer, I never been dunked in the dungeon myself. What kind of food do you get?
Not bad at all, Bugface. I remember one night I had a tasty appetizer of stuffed eggs Romanoff, a delightful pourri de Mongol, julienne, romaine salad with Russian dressing, breast of guinea hen under glass, an artichoke with hollandaise, and a bit of camembert with my demitasse.
Well, heavenly days, that sounds like a New York restaurant.
It was, Golden Girl, it was. Unfortunately, I was reapprehended that same evening and returned to the Bastille, where slum conditions prevail. Which isn't bad if you care for slum.
Well, what'd you stop by here for, Boomer? Want us to join the Crook of the Month Club?
That's very good, Limberlip, very good. And clean, too. I can tell that one to my mother when she gets out. But I just stopped in to request a small favor.
What's the favor, Mr. Boomer?
Just wondered if I could leave this suitcase in your care for a day or so.
What? What's in it?
A few valuables belonging to an old aunt of mine. She's moving and doesn't want this stuff lying around.
Oh, well, all right, Mr. Boomer. We'll take care of it. Is your aunt moving today?
Yes, she is, my dear. Seems that her husband, my Uncle Winthrop, by marriage on my father's side, he was the only one who was on father's side. Anyway, it seems he had a little printing press in the basement that made too much noise.
Well, the neighbors complained?
No, but we began to suspect it was being heard in Washington, D.C. If you know what I mean. If you do, keep your trap sharp. Thank you very much, Glam-a-Gam, and a stiff little nod to you, little stiff.
Ladies and gentlemen, we ask you again not to let up in your purchase of United States defense bonds. And we are proud to announce a new bond between this country and its gallant defenders. Fibber McGee and Molly programs for the rest of this season will be sent by delayed shortwave broadcast to our troops in Iceland, Newfoundland, Ireland, Cuba, Bermuda, Trinidad, Panama Canal Zone, the Philippines, the Far East, and all parts of the world. We hope the boys enjoy the broadcast as much as we do the thought of sending them a few smiles from home.
We did right by keeping this suitcase for Boomer?
Well, I don't know why not, McGee. Though that was a ridiculous excuse, his dear old aunt moving.
Yeah. I suppose it's full of counterfeit dough or stolen goods or hot inner tubes or something. I got a good notion to open it.
McGee, you'll do no such a thing.
Huh?
It wouldn't be right or decent. What's in that suitcase is absolutely none of our business.
Well.
The idea of betraying a trust like that. For shame.
Oh, well, gee.
Anyway, you can't open it. It's locked.
How do you know?
Well, my hand accidentally bumped against the latches 2 or 3 times, and it didn't open.
I'll bet I could get it open. Give me a hairpin.
I will not. It's one thing to have it open accidentally and quite another thing to deliberately break into it.
Well, I guess you're right, Molly. After all, Boomer did trust us with it.
Why, of course he did.
Yeah?
And if we're not the kind of people who can be trusted with a little suitcase, I'll bet it would spring open if you knocked it off the table.
I'll bet it would, too, but, gee, I'd feel awful cheap doing it.
Oh, I would, too.
Is the table high enough?
No, the bookcase would be better. It's higher.
Okay. Now, if I leave it up here on the bookcase. That's it. Now, if somebody should slam the door hard and it jarred off onto the floor and sprung open, nobody could blame us. That'd be an act of Providence.
See who that is, Providence.
Come in.
Oh, hello, Abigail.
How do you do, my dear? And Mr. McGee?
Hi, sis. What's amiss?
Why, nothing at all, Mr. McGee, really. I merely wish to make some inquiries regarding the horse you purchased last week.
Oh, why, certainly, Abigail.
Well, you tell her, Molly. You braided Lillian's hair this morning, so you'll know the main facts.
Mr. McGee, I just adore listening to you when you're in one of your humorous moods.
That was it, too.
Do tell some jokes.
Okay. Well, it seems there was a traveling salesman.
McGee. Just what was it you wanted to know about Abigail Lillian? Lillian Abigail.
Natural mistake.
Well, first, my dear. First of all, is she well broken to the saddle?
Oh, she's a riding horse, all right, Uppy. What kind of saddle do you like? Kentucky, McClellan, English, or Western?
Well, I personally prefer a modified English type, Mr. McGee. I have jodhpurs, you see.
Oh, you poor thing. She has jodhpurs.
I had jodhpurs once. Couldn't ride a horse for 6 months. Doctor says it was the worst case of jodhpurs he ever saw. Started with a little small jodhpur on my neck and spread...
Now, please. Mr. McGee, jodhpurs is not a disease. Jodhpurs are a type of riding breeches.
For women?
Yes.
And it's still a disease.
You're prejudiced, McGee.
Oh, by the way, when I saw Mr. McGee leading Lillian around the block this morning, she seemed, just a touch sway-backed.
Oh, really? I hadn't noticed.
What do you mean, sway-backed? She ain't sway-backed. She's just big-hearted.
And what is that to do with a sagging spine, Mr. McGee?
Her spine don't sag, I tell you. Her heart is so big it pulls her down in the middle.
Mr. McGee, I seem to sense an attitude of ridicule on your part.
Oh, now, Abigail.
And for your information, Mr. McGee, I hold 7 blue ribbons for equitation. And furthermore...
Furthermore what?
Pardon me, but this suitcase on the bookcase is about to fall off. I'll push it back a little.
Oh.
Now, that's much better. What was I saying? Oh, yes. Goodbye.
Equitation, my eye. Suppose she is a good swimmer. What's that got to do with riding a horse?
Well, search me, but shove that suitcase a little forward again, McGee. It'll never fall off that way.
Well, thanks to Uppy, the meddlesome old moose. There we are. It'll fall now if a mosquito winks at it.
Where can we get a mosquito at this time of year?
I was just speaking metaphorically. What I meant to say...
Oh, folks, say, I hear you have a house guest.
House guest?
Yeah, somebody named Lillian.
Oh, yeah, Lillian. Yeah, she's a great kid, too, Harlow. She's out right now.
Well, I'd like to meet her sometime. Blonde or brunette?
Well, I don't know. I'd say she's almost a platinum blonde, wouldn't you, McGee?
Yeah, with big brown eyes, Harlow, nice white teeth, and the softest lips.
Oh. Is she married?
I don't think so. Is she, McGee?
I think she was once. Some old horse named Prince, I think. He's in the Army now. Last I heard of him, he was, well, I think he's just under a major.
Say, why'd you ask, Mr. Wilcox? You're married, you.
Oh, I haven't got any romantic interest in this Lillian. She merely interests me as a prospect for Johnson products. I'd like to have a heart-to-heart talk with her one of these days. How old is she?
Oh, I'd say about 18 or 19.
Oh, great. Just the right age. She'll be getting hitched one of these days. And have a little home of her own. And I hate to think of a girl settling down without knowing about Johnson's Wax and Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat. Say, incidentally, is Lillian a local girl?
No, she's from Kentucky, Mr. Wilcox. The bluegrass country.
Oh. Accent?
Just a trace of southern drool at times. Why?
Well, these southern girls sure know how to make a home. Famous old southern hospitality, you know. The old mansions down there have always been great users of Johnson's Wax. That's why some of them have been so well preserved.
And it's even more important now, isn't it?
It surely is. And there's nothing like Johnson's Wax to give longer life and better wear to wood and enameled products and 1,000 other things. Just like Johnson's Self-Polishing Glow Coat beautifies and preserves linoleum with a minimum of expense and work. Gee, I wish Lillian were here so I could tell her.
Well, now, you come back any time, Mr. Wilcox. We'll be glad to introduce you.
If you really want to make a hit with her, Harlow, bring her an apple or a carrot.
Oh. Vegetarian, eh?
Strictly.
Say, I've got a great idea.
Huh?
My wife is going to a fashion show at the Bonton tomorrow. I'll have her call Lillian and invite her to go along. How's that?
Oh, well, now, I don't know.
Oh, now, listen, a girl's got to get out and meet people. She's got to get out. She can't just hang around home and eat carrots and apples. What do you think she is, a horse?
I can just see Lillian at the Bonton, McGee, giving the new spring hats the horse laugh.
Wait till Harlow tries to call her. She'll give him the old stall. Hey.
What?
That suitcase didn't fall down when he slammed the door.
Well, maybe he didn't close it tight, McGee. Close it again.
Okay.
There. Oh. McGee, look. Oh. Look what came out of that suitcase.
Oh, get a load of that silverware.
It's stolen, that's what it is. Look at the box.
And the knickknacks.
And the jewelry.
And the money. Look at that wad of dough. Hey, this is a case for the cops.
Why, certainly it is. Call them up quick, dearie. I don't want this stuff in the house any longer than necessary.
Give me the phone. Thanks. Hello, operator. Give me the police. Oh, is that you, Mert?
Oh, dear.
How's every little thing, Mert? Says, eh? What say, Mert? Your sister, Gypsy Ruth, the fan dancer. Huh? Wants me to see if she's taken off too much.
Oh, heavenly days, McGee. That's indecent.
No, it ain't. She's making out her income tax. What say, Mert? Okay, thanks anyway, Mert. She can't take any calls from us, Molly. I forgot to pay the bill.
Oh, dear, oh, dear. I'll run over to Mrs. Stoops and use their phone, McGee. You keep an eye on this jewelry and stuff.
I'll say I will. Boy, what a load of loot. What silver. I never realized Boomer was such a sterling character. Why, there's enough of this stuff in... Uh-oh, better get that junk inside. Come in.
Hi, mister.
Oh, hello, little girl. Go away, will you? I'm busy. I got some important business to tend to. Go on, beat it. Go.
Oh, you're always too busy to talk to me, I bet you. I just want to go out in the garage and see your horse.
Okay. Go ahead.
Gee, thanks, mister. Can I feed her a lump of sugar? Can I, please?
Well, you better just talk to her, sis. Give me the lump of sugar.
Here you are.
Thanks. Horses don't appreciate the value of this stuff nowadays. Don't let Lillian kick you, sis.
Oh, I'm not afraid of horses, I bet you.
No?
I go down to a farm every summer.
Oh, you do? I says, oh, you do.
Do what?
Go down to a farm every summer.
Gee, so do I.
That's what I... Oh, all right. Go on, sis. Go see Lillian.
All right. I want to see her little baby, too.
Baby? Our horse hasn't got any baby.
Oh, yes, she has, I bet you.
Oh, no, she hasn't.
Oh, yes, she has.
Oh, no. What makes you think our horse has a baby?
My daddy said so.
Oh, he did, eh? Your daddy done told you, huh? What does he know about our horse?
Well, I don't know, mister, but this morning when you were leading Lillian around the block, Daddy saw you out the window and he said to my mama, "Hey, Susie, get a load of the hoofs on that hay burner. If she isn't a murderer, I never saw one." Thank you.
The King's Men and deep in the heart of Texas.
Yippee, 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 yeah. The stars at night are big and bright. Deep in the heart of Texas, the prairie sky is wide and high. Deep in the heart of Texas, the sage in bloom is like perfume. Deep in the heart of Texas, reminds me of the one I love. Deep in the heart of Texas, I love every little yellow rose. I love it when the Texas norther blows. I love every blade of grass that grows. Down in Texas, the midnight train whistles over the plain. Deep in the heart of Texas, and by the the badlands of Texas. They'll never get away, for crime doesn't pay. Deep in the heart of Texas, the coyotes wail along the trail. Hear all the cowboys cry as they gallop on by Coyote. I love to listen to the bawling of the cattle. I love to ride around the prairie in the saddle. So let the doggies cry. I want to live and die deep in the heart of Texas. Yippee-ki-yay.
I told them to arrest Mr. Boomer and come and get this suitcase full of stuff. I won't have it in the house.
Me either. I'm no offense, even if I am always around the house. You get 'em, Molly? Stolen goods, fence around the house?
It ain't funny, McGee.
I got a big laugh with that in a high school play once. I wrote it myself, too.
You did?
Yeah, I called it Abe's Irish Rose, and it was all about a young couple that
You
wanted...
didn't write that. Ann Nichols wrote that, and it ran for years in New York.
It did?
Sure.
And she never paid me a dime royalty. How do you like that? I guess I better copyright my other one.
What other one? Tobacco Road?
No, but there's a good title. I can use that sometime. My other play is about a rich millionaire playboy that gets married 7 times. His name is Moore, and I call the play the Moore the Marrier. It's a play on words, but people go for that kind of stuff.
Oh, here's the police, McGee. Get the suitcase.
I hope they caught Boomer. That guy's as slippery as a plate of watermelon when you're wearing your best white pants.
Who?
Me.
Oh. Come in.
Oh. Oh, hi, Latrivia. We thought it was the cops.
And Mr. Boomer, what on earth are you two doing together?
Seems to have been a slight error in judgment, my dear. Yes, indeed.
I'll say there was. By leaving that suitcase here, you...
Excuse me, please. I'll handle this. Mrs. McGee, you called the police, I believe, and had them arrest Mr. Boomer.
I did. Any man who would deliberately leave a suitcase full of stolen goods without...
Ah, yes. Better and better. I am now accused of being a thief, and in front of witnesses, too.
Well, you are.
I think you'd better not say any more, McGee, until you've heard the whole story.
What story?
We have checked thoroughly on Mr. Boomer, and we find that his aunt is moving today. This suitcase and contents is her property, and Mr. Boomer did leave it with you for safekeeping. There is no case against him whatsoever.
Oh dear. Well...
I'm sorry, Boomer, but you know how it is. Give a dog a bad name, and people are bound to bark up the wrong tree. I made it.
Keep your condolences, Prune Pit. I have been sorely wounded, cut to the quick. My self-esteem has been rudely shattered, and I shall seek equity in the court of law.
What?
My attorneys, Wagstaff, Wormser, Clamwell, Offendorfer, Bergheim, O'Toole, and a sightly wench in their outer office, will serve papers on you shortly. You have been guilty of libel, slander, and defamation of character.
Can he do that to us, Mr. Mayor?
As a public official, Mrs. McGee, I cannot advise you, but privately, in my capacity of lawyer, I should say he has a clear-cut case. He can recover large amounts of damages.
I'll make it easy, riffraff. 50,000.
50,000? Why, you big crook.
100,000.
Oh, yeah? I bet you planted that suitcase here on purpose, knowing that we couldn't resist the knowing that it might come open, and then you could sue us. You chiseler.
200,000. Do I hear any further bidding? Going, gone to the overnourished little termite and the repulsive necktie.
If I might make a suggestion, my friends, let's talk this thing over. I'm sure there's been some misunderstanding.
200,000, not a cent less. The honor of the Boomers is at stake, and if there's anything I like, it's a good steak. Yes, indeed.
I'm quite sure that if a proper apology was made to Mr. Boomer...
I won't apologize. That guy's as crooked as a hotel coat hanger. And he won't get a nickel out of me.
Pardon me a minute. Now, isn't there something in the law, Mr. Mayor, about a complainant coming into court with clean hands?
Yes, there is, Mrs. McGee, now that you speak of it. If a complainant wishes to sue and his past record has been such...
I'll come down to 50,000.
He can't sue anybody. He's been in more courts than Helen Wills. And if he thinks for 1 minute...
10,000.
Why, he's got a prison record as long as my arm, and if the government were asked about him...
500.
Just a moment, Mr. Boomer. I think it might be wise to drop the case right here. If it's true that you have a criminal record,
Nothing of the sort. Merely because I have frequently been the unfortunate victim of legal persecution, never let it be said that Horatio K. Boomer would not seek to vindicate his integrity. How about $100, Pipsqueak?
Say, how about it, Mr. Mayor?
Under the circumstances, Mrs. McGee, I don't like to see you do it, but if he really starts suit, it would cost you more than that to defend yourself.
All right. Pay him, dearie.
Well, okay. I just got 100 on me. Here, Boomer.
Ah, thank you, my boy, thank you. We shall consider the whole unfortunate matter closed as of now. Come, Mr. Mayor, let us not intrude further upon the time of these good peasants. Ah, my suitcase, please, Varlet. Thank you.
Well, of all the dirty load...
McGee, look out the window.
Huh? Where?
On the porch. Boomer is giving the mayor some money. Huh? He's dividing up the $100 with him.
Why, those dirty crooks. It was a frame-up. Let me at it.
40, 45, 50. There you are, Mr. Mayor, and I hope that in the future...
All right, just a minute there. I caught you in the act, didn't I?
What do you mean, McGee?
Oh, we saw you divvying up the swag, didn't we, dearie?
I'll say we did. Working together, huh? Just a couple of shakedown artists. Bunco boys. A fine mayor.
Yes, helping a crook like Boomer to shake down innocent citizens. Why, of all the...
Excuse me, Mrs. McGee. Mr. Boomer's aunt is moving into a house owned by me. The first month's rent in advance is $50. This is the $50.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Excuse me, Latrivia. I guess I...
My lawyers will call on you tomorrow, McGee, to start suit for defamation of character. And I have no prison record. Good day.
Oh, dear.
Oh, sure.
Oh, taxi!
Everybody has had the experience of rubbing a nice red apple to make it shine. But few people realize that the apple shines because it is protected with a coating of wax. The petals of the rose are also wax protected. So marvelously does nature safeguard the life and beauty of her kingdom. Centuries ago, man began to copy nature by using wax for protection. Over 50 years ago, S.C. Johnson perfected a blending of waxes for use on floors. Today, Johnson's wax is used in millions of homes, not only for protection of floors, furniture, and woodwork, but also to bring greater beauty to our homes. A Johnson waxed floor grows more beautiful every day. Floors that are waxed never need scrubbing. They're easily cleaned, and work is saved throughout the year. Be sure always to have genuine Johnson's wax, either paste, liquid, or cream, in your home. It has over 100 labor-saving uses.
Latrivia just called up.
Well, what does he want now?
He isn't going to sue.
Oh.
He was just scaring us.
Well, that's nice.
Yeah.
Say, how did you happen to have $100 in your pocket?
Who, me?
Yes, you. Where'd you get it?
Out of that suitcase. I thought it might be counterfeit, and I was going to check with the bank. Good night.
Good night, all.
This is Harlow Wilcox, speaking for the makers of Johnson's Wax Finishes for Home and Industry, inviting you all to be with us again next Tuesday night. Good night.
Have you looked carefully at the paint job of your car recently? Chances are it needs cleaning and polishing, an essential part of any program of better car maintenance. You can give your car back its original showroom shine with Johnson's Car New, the labor-saving polish that both cleans and polishes in one application, 2 jobs at once in quick time. It's no fun driving a car that's dull and dingy. Why not make a note now to buy a can of Johnson's Car New tomorrow? It's spelled C-A-R-N-U. This program came to you from Hollywood.
And there you have it from 83 years ago today, March 3rd, 1942, Fibber McGee and Molly, here on Classic Radio Theater with Wyatt Cox. We'll have an adventure coming up next with another tale of Sam Shubble.
We are the vocal
of the local PTA. We're gathered here because we fear that 10 years from today, the younger generation of a growing population will look to us for leadership, will look at us and say, we have no alma maters, with or without swimming pools. We have no alma maters, because we have no schools.
Our children are growing faster than our schools. And 10 years from today, conditions may become desperate unless we do something about it now. If you'd like to do something constructive about it now, write to Better Schools, 9 East 40th Street, New York 16, New York.
We can have the schools we need 10 years from today.
Now an episode of Bud Abbott and Lou Costello with another Sam Shubble mystery. This goes back 76 years, March 3rd, 1949.
Hey, Abbott, what time is it?
It's time for the Abbott and Costello Show. We're on the air for ABC here in Hollywood.
Well, what are we waiting for? Let's go with the Abbott and Costello Show.
Yes, it's the Abbott and Costello Show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood for your listening and laughing pleasure, with chuckles with a carload and music by Matty Malnick. So hold on to your chairs, folks, for here they are, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello.
All right, cut out that yelling. What's all the excitement?
Well, I went to a party last night, Abbott. There were 30 girls there. Not one of them would dance with me or even talk to me.
You didn't have any fun then?
No, I was as lonesome as Fred Allen on Sunday night.
I thought you were such a big shot with the girls. I don't believe you ever had a girl.
Oh, yes, I did, Abbott. I had a very beautiful little blonde once, and everything was swell until one day she ran off to Florida. She married a guy, and now she has 5 children. After that, we just sort of drifted apart.
She had... Why don't you speak to my wife, Lou? She knows lots of nice girls.
No, your wife don't like me, Abbott.
Well, if you hang around with her more, you'll find me. You'll eventually get under her skin.
Well, I guess one more lump won't hurt her.
How can you talk that way about my wife? Remember the first night you met her?
Yes. The minute she walked in the room, I said, there's either an ugly woman or a good-looking man.
Costello, do you know you're getting more stupid every day?
Gee, thanks, Abbott. I'm glad to know I'm not stagnating.
Oh, get it.
Before the boys get any further involved in nonsense, here's a thought that makes good sense.
What's that thing you've got under your arm?
That's my new Harry Truman rifle.
A Harry Truman rifle?
Yes, a .48 repeater.
What happened to you last night? I called your house and you weren't home.
Well, I went to the movies, Abbott. I saw one of those old-time pictures. It was all about the Romans. They had a chariot race in it, and it was won by a guy named Ben-Hur.
Yeah. You dummy, you mean Ben-Hur, not him, her.
They were all dressed up in them bed sheets. You couldn't tell the hymns from the herd.
Well, if you'd gone to school, Lou, you'd known the story of Ben-Hur.
Did you go to school, Abbott?
Oh, certainly. I started in nursery school, then I went to kindergarten.
So what? I started in nursery school. I went to kindergarten.
And I went from kindergarten to grammar school.
So what? I went to kindergarten to grammar school.
I went from grammar school to high school.
Do you think there'll be a shortage of meatballs this summer?
Costello, you've got the brain of a monkey.
I'll bet you I have not.
Yeah? What do you want to bet?
15 bananas. Trying to insinuate that I'm ignorant? Abbott, you're nothing but a Hollywood character.
Oh, what's a Hollywood character?
A jerk with a personality.
I'll ignore that remark because of your ignorance.
Who's ignorant? When I went to school, I specialized in history. I can name off all the most important dates in history.
All right, go ahead. Name some important dates.
Well, I will. There's 1492, 1776, 1812, 1917, Rita Hayworth.
Now, wait a minute. Rita Hayworth is not an important date.
Ali Khan seems to think so.
Costello, why don't you listen to me? Take my advice once in a while. I'm your friend. I realize that you're an idiot, and I want to assist you, Lou.
What good can you do me? You're just an assistant to an idiot.
Well, just look at you. You're dumpy, squatty.
Now hold it, Abbott.
What do you mean?
Hold it.
What do you
I'll
mean?
go for so much, and that's all. Now, it's not my fault that I didn't grow tall like the other boys. When I was a little boy over in Scotland, I used to play the bagpipes, but it gave me pneumonia.
Wait a minute. Now, look. Wait a minute. How could playing the bagpipes give you pneumonia?
There was a leak in the bag, and the air kept blowing up my kilts. Instead of wearing a whisk broom in front of my kilts like the rest of the Scotsmen, I had to wear a hot water bottle.
Well, you must have had a very poor childhood, Costello.
I did, Abbott. We were very poor. My mother had to work, and she had to take in washing. She had to scrub office floors. She worked as a blacksmith. She drove an oil truck. And one time for 3 years, she worked in the daytime as a waitress and worked at night in a coal mine.
Well, what did your father do?
He kept the books.
Well, I guess you had a pretty tough time when you were a kid.
Yes, I'll never forget the day my mother made my first pair of long pants. It had 12 buttons down the back and 4 pockets in the front.
Well, what did she make them out of?
My father's old vest. I was the only kid in school that had a watch fob hanging from a knee.
Were you very popular with the other kids in school, Lou?
Oh, I was a pitcher on a baseball team. What a pitcher I was. I had a drop ball, a slow ball, a curve ball.
Did you have a screwball?
That was before I met you, Abbott.
You dummy, you ought to be back in school right now.
For your information, Abbott, I'm keeping steady company with a red-headed school teacher.
What does she teach?
She has a high school class of men all over 40 years old.
40-year-old man? Why don't they go to college?
When she gets through teaching them, there's nothing else to learn.
Running around with a school teacher. Why don't you find a nice girl and get married?
I'm going to, Abbott, as soon as I get some money.
Money. Costello, don't worry about money. Do you realize what money is? Money is the root of all evil. Money is an invention of the devil. Money is filthy lucre. Money causes misery. Money. That's what I think of money.
May the Bank of America have mercy on your soul.
Costello, you don't need money. What you need is the love of a good woman. Find another girl like my wife, Betty.
You mean there's another girl like your wife, Betty?
Costello, I love my wife. My Betty's a real cookie.
Your wife is a cookie?
That's right.
Abbott, you just set baking back 20 years.
You'd be lucky to get a girl like my wife. My Betty is always straight from the shoulder.
Who wants a girl that's straight from the shoulder? I like the girl that curves.
Oh, Uncle Bud, something terrible just happened to me.
And this is really his Uncle Bud, and this is the nephew. We don't kid about it. He's got to work. Abbott's nephew. Pay attention to what he says, folks. This may be his last performance.
What is it, Norman? Nephew Norman? Why are you so excited?
Well, Uncle Bud, when I was coming through the pass in the mountains, a mountain lion jumped right in the car beside me.
Yes, then what happened?
The lion killed me!
Wait a minute, Norman. You're not dead. Stop crying. You're working on the Abbott and Costello show. You're still living.
You call this living?
Really, though, Cecilia, there goes a brilliant boy. His brain is on a slow boat to the Mayo Brothers.
Now, you lay off, Norman. He's a very intelligent boy. He's always studying and reading. It wouldn't hurt you to do a little reading once in a while.
Oh, Abbott, I do plenty of reading. When I was 7 years old, I started my first book, Little Red Riding Hood. I rented it from the library. It's the last time I'll ever rent a book from the library.
Well, didn't you like Little Red Riding Hood?
Abbott, up to now, I owe that library $2,800. And Little Red Riding Hood has yet to meet the wolf.
Little Red Riding Hood. Why don't you read some of the newer books?
I just bought Gypsy Rose Lee's new book. It's a story of her life.
Well, what does Gypsy Rose Lee call her new book?
The Leg and I.
Why don't you read something educational, Lou?
I am, Adam. I just bought a book on inventions. It tells all about new gadgets. I bought one yesterday for my Aunt May.
What kind of a gadget did you buy for your Aunt May?
It's a new girdle that's made from surplus paratroopers' harness. And it's a handy little thing. At night, she doesn't have to undress.
She doesn't?
No, she just jumps off the top of the dresser and pulls the ripcord.
That's ridiculous. But, hey, I understand you're working on some kind of a silly invention yourself.
And my invention is all finished, too, Abbott. It's a new kind of perfume. And all the girls in Hollywood are going to go crazy about it.
All the girls in Hollywood are going crazy about your perfume. Why?
It smells like money. I gave a bottle of it to my Aunt May. Boy, did it make her popular.
Your Aunt May was never popular.
Is that so? Back in Patterson, New Jersey, she was so popular, every guy in town used to drink champagne out of her slipper.
And what did it get her?
She's got the only big toe in the world that belongs to Alcoholics Anonymous.
Come back here to drink this. Eat your spinach. I won't eat it. I won't eat it. No, I won't eat it.
Mister, what's going on here?
That's this darn kid of mine. He won't eat his spinach. Junior, you've got to eat your spinach.
I ain't gonna do it. I don't like spinach.
Well, you eat your spinach or Saturday, I'll make you go to see Abbott and Costello's picture, Mexican Hayride.
No, you can't do that to me. I'll eat my spinach. You're my boss. You can't do that to me.
Abbott, I'd like to take that kid over to Santa Anita Saturday.
What for?
I want to drop him in a claiming race.
Well, hello, boy.
Hey, look, Costello, it's Viola.
Viola, you look very lovely tonight.
Viola, I understand that you and Costello had a date last night. Where'd you go?
Well, Costello had a terrible time making up his mind where to take me.
Well, you see, I was trying to make up my mind between Ciro's and the Macombo. But we finally went.
Where?
To a hamburger stand between Ciro's and the Macombo.
Well, don't you worry, Viola. After we're married, things will be different. We'll have lots of little ones, and they'll all look like me.
Oh, gee, I'd always planned on having children.
I'd plan on having a few laughs here. Are you sure you're reading the same script?
Lou, you shouldn't be jealous of me. I don't want to be a comedian. I don't want to make people laugh.
Okay, then you read my lines.
Costello, you can't be funny without me. You need me. Why, where would Edgar Bergen be without Charlie McCoffey? Where would Amos be without Andy?
That's true.
Certainly. One thing goes with the another. Like Dorothy Lamour. Where would she be without her sarong?
I don't know, but I sure would like to be there.
Costello, I think you're girl crazy. I'm not the girl for you.
But Viola, you can't leave me. What would I do without you?
Don't worry about that. I'll fix you up with a girlfriend of mine. Oh, you'll be just crazy about this girl. When she meets you, she'll rush over and she'll throw her arms around you like this.
Yes.
And she'll squeeze you like this.
Yes.
And she'll kiss you like this. And this. And this. And this. There, now what do you think of that?
When am I going to meet this girl?
Viola, why don't you take pity on Costello and marry him? Then you'll be known as Mrs. Louis G. Costello.
G? Oh, what does the G stand for, Costello?
Don't you tell her, Abbott.
Come on now. What does it stand for? George?
No, I don't want to tell you.
Oh, come on, Costello. What does the G stand for?
Oh, do I have to tell you?
Yes.
Stands for Gloria. Yes, my mother always wanted a girl, and my father didn't have the heart to tell her.
Well, why don't you forget Costello and come to the movies tonight and see our latest picture, Mexican Hayride?
Oh, thanks, Bud, but I saw the picture already.
Oh, you did? Tell me. How did you like my acting?
Well, it was... I'd say...
Mm-hmm.
Well, let me put it this way. Sure. You know how Van Johnson has that dramatic touch?
Oh, yes.
And how Clark Gable has that forceful personality?
Yes.
And how Gregory Peck gives that little artistic extra something.
Yeah. But what about me?
Costello, can you drive a taxi cab?
Oh, now get this girl out of here, will you? Come on.
And that's only half the fun, folks. Just as many laughs yet to come. But first, listen to this.
Now the spotlight turns to Hal Winters, our singing star. Here he is with Matty Malnick and his orchestra.
I caught you, sir, having a look at her as she went strolling by. Now, didn't your heart beat boom, 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 and didn't you sigh a sigh? I warn you, sir, don't start to dream of her. Just bid such thoughts be gone, or it'll be boom, 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 from then on. For once in love with Amy, always in love with Amy, ever and ever fascinated by her, sets your heart afire to stay. Once you're kissed by Amy, tear up your list, it's Amy. Ply her with bonbons, poetry and flowers, moon a million hours away. You might be quite the fickle-hearted rover, so carefree and bold, who loves a girl and later thinks it over and just quits cold. But once in love with Amy, always in love with Amy, ever and ever sweetly you romance her. Trouble is, the answer will be that Amy'd rather stay in love with me.
Hey, Costello, come here. How did you get your clothes so dirty? Just look at your coat. It's torn and your shirt is ripped and...
That ain't my fault, Abbott.
What?
I was out on one of my Sam Shovel detective cases last night. I investigated a robbery at the fraternity house in UCLA. But I miscalculated. Got into one of the girls' dormitories.
How did you manage to do that?
By careful miscalculation.
Costello, instead of running around nights on those silly Sam Shovel cases, you should stay home.
Oh, I do stay home a lot, Abbott. Every night last week I stayed home. I cleaned the house. I got a terrible servant problem. I find it very difficult to hold a maid.
Now, what makes it so difficult for you to hold a maid?
My mother keeps walking in the room.
Never mind that. I understand you took your brother Pat to the movies last night.
Oh, yes. But I ain't taking Pat to the movies no more. He acts very strange. The minute we got into the movie, Pat put his hat under the seat.
Well, what's strange about that? What's the men put their hat under the seat?
While their head is still in it.
Oh, talk sense. Hey, wait a minute. Come here. What is that big manuscript you're carrying under your arm?
Well, I didn't want to tell you, but it's a book that I wrote.
A book you wrote?
It's the first chapter. The hero is threatened by a mad doctor who tries to remove his head. In the second chapter, he meets a demented butcher who tries to put him in a meat grinder. Then it ends where 3 maniacs tie him to a tree and a squadron of wild woodpeckers peck holes in him. But nobody wants to publish it.
Why not?
I guess people are sick of them mushy love stories.
What is your Sam Shovel detective story about tonight?
Well, tonight I do one of my most famous cases. I call it the case of the photographer who was stuck up in a dark room, or he was caught with his prints down.
Well, sounds terrible, but let's do it.
And now, the makers of Bebop Bubble Bath present the adventures of Sam Shovel, Private Detective. But first, a word about our product, Bebop Bubble Bath. Friends, would you like Bubbles in your bathtub? You would? Well, why not call up Bubbles and see if she needs a bath? Ladies, try Bebop Bubble Bath. We don't ask you to buy the large size, mind you. Just try a trial size package. It contains a 7-year supply. You'll find that if you use Bebop Bubble Bath every day for 7 years, you'll have skin just like a baby. A baby alligator. Listen to what people all over the country are saying about Bebop Bubble Bath. In Kansas.
Give me Bebop Bubble Bath.
In New Jersey.
Give me Bebop Bubble Bath.
In Oregon.
Give me Bebop Bubble Bath.
In Virginia.
Give me liberty or give me death.
That Patrick Henry never gives up. And now the makers of Bebop Bubble Bath bring you your favorite thriller mystery. Here he is, Sam Shovel, Private Detective.
Yes, I'm Sam Shovel. Sam Shovel, Private Detective. The detective business has been mighty slow lately. Last night, having nothing to do, I went to a big public library and buried my nose in a book. This morning, I had a heck of a job finding it. I forgot what book I buried it in. Here comes my secretary now.
Did you call me Mr. Shovel?
Don't be silly. Why should I call you Mr. Shovel? My name is Mr. Shovel. By the way, Miss Jones, did you find the file on that crook Joe Kirk?
What's his name?
Who?
Joe Kirk.
Never heard of him. Miss Jones, you and I have got to work late in the office tonight. Are you prepared?
Oh, yes. I brought my brass knuckles, my fencing mask, and a baseball bat.
Clever girl. She's so stylish. She was voted one of the 10 best-dressed women in Azusa. That's not so remarkable when you consider there's only 9 other women in Azusa. Suddenly, the inter-office communication system buzzes. It's my secretary. She speaks.
Mr. Shovel, there are 2 men here to see you about a case. Mr. Cohen and Chief Lightfoot Running Deer.
I'll see the Indian first.
You can go in now, Mr. Cohen.
The cops have certainly got their hands full these days. Full of 5s, 10s, 20s. I think of my pal, Lieutenant Abbott of the Homicide Squad. Abbott has been on the police force for 20 years. He knows which side his bread is buttered on. He can take any piece of bread and say, this side is buttered.
Sam, I'm on the trail of Zeke, the hillbilly moonshiner, burglar.
Lieutenant Abbott, I'll be glad to help you. What do you want?
Well, you've seen Zeke. Give me a thumbnail description of him.
Well, he uses liquid polish, and his cuticle is pushed way back.
Sam, I want you to go with me to the Ozarks. I've got to capture Zeke. It'll be a dangerous trip. Those hillbillies are strange people. They're always arguing, shooting and farming.
Yep, shooting, fighting, and fertilizing.
Come on, Sam, we're heading for the hill.
Lieutenant Abbott and I arrived in the hillbilly country.
Sam, these hillbillies are strange people, but you'll have to admit they're solid citizens. They've got both feet on the ground.
They've got to have both feet on the ground. They don't wear shoes. I read in the papers where a 75-year-old hillbilly wanted to marry a girl 9 years old.
Did he marry her?
Nope, his parents objected. They didn't want him marrying a girl who'd been divorced 3 times.
Wait a minute, Sam. Here comes a bunch of hillbillies. Let's ask them if they know where Zeke is.
Howdy, strangers. I'm Jim Hartfield. These here are my sons.
I'm Sam Shovel, the detective, and this is Lieutenant Abbott.
Boys, say hello to the strangers. Lem? Clem? Bert?
Sir?
Bert went to military school.
I don't like the looks of these guys, Abbott. The skinny one has got an ear of corn and 2 pumpkins.
So what? They're farmers, and farmers have corn and pumpkins.
Blown out of their heads.
Well, gotta go now. We're working on the farm. 2 weeks ago, we dug a hole. Last week, we dropped the seed in it. And today, we're going to cover it up.
Do you always work that hard?
Yeah. Except when the weather gets bad, then it slows us up a little. So long.
Boy, is that guy lazy. If he was a chicken, eggs and television sets would be the same price.
Never mind him, Sam. We've got to find Zeke, the moonshiner. Hey, look over there behind those bushes. There's Zeke's. There's Zeke. The moonshiner still. Come on.
Hey, look. There's Zeke. He's making corn liquor. He's jumping up and down on the corn, crushing it.
Hold on there, Zeke. We've got you covered. You're under arrest. Stop mashing that corn with your feet. What are you doing?
I'm making some 90 proof corn liquor. And tomorrow I'm going to make some that's 100 proof.
How do you do that?
For that, I take off my shoes.
Zeke, how do you make that corn liquor?
Well, first I mash up the corn. Then I dump in a gallon of turpentine. Then a gallon of Clorox. And 2 quarts of juniper juice.
Don't you put no alcohol in it?
Why? Ruin the taste?
Zeke, we're taking you to jail. Sam, grab some of that moonshine for evidence. And you better taste it to make sure we got the right stuff.
Lieutenant Abbott, you know I never touch the stuff.
So you're a brave detective, eh? Sam Shovel, eh? Go ahead, you coward. Taste it. That stuff will grow hair on your chest.
He's only kidding, Sam. Go ahead and taste it.
Okay.
Sam! Speak to me, Sam!
Don't stand there, Lieutenant. Call a barber. This hair is so thick I can't see where I'm going. Get me out of here!
Now, before Abbott and Costello have their final fling, we bring you one more thought on this subject.
Costello, why don't you tell the folks about your next week's Sam Shovel story?
Folks, my ex-Sam Shovel story takes place in a chewing gum factory. I call it the case of the beautiful blonde who fell into a vat of soft gum, or there's good chews tonight.
Yes, and our writers are working on the case right now. Our writing staff is headed by Eddie Foreman with Paul Conlon, Pat Costello, Martin Raggaway, and Len Stern.
And our producer is Charles Vander. Be sure to be with us next Thursday night.
Good night, folks.
Good night, everybody in Patterson. Good night, come on. Aunt May, Uncle Mike, Uncle Tom, Aunt Eva.
Listen each Thursday night at this time for another great Abbott and Costello show, produced and transcribed in Hollywood. Be sure to stay tuned for the outstanding entertainment which follows throughout the evening on this ABC station.
76 years ago, March 3rd, 1949, Bud Abbott and Lou Costello visit us at classicradio.stream. Coming up next, Claudia.
It's a strange quirk of human nature, but most of us never think, except in the most abstract way, of an accident ever happening to us. It's always the other fellow who's involved. But nevertheless, accidents go right on happening at an ever-increasing, alarming rate. And it can't always be happening only to the other fellow. For instance, 1 out of 5 families will have a traffic accident this year. Think of that. And how can you be sure you won't be that one? Well, there's one way of piling up some percentages in your favor. A few simple precautions will guarantee better accident odds for your family. For one thing, remember it's not always easy to stop quickly in wet weather. Drive so that you can stop when and if you want to. And always drive with a clean, clear windshield. There are a great many safety precautions, and for the most part, it's simply a matter of applying common sense to driving. Just remember to drive as if your life depended on it, because it does.
Now, another episode of Claudia. This episode goes back also 76 years to March 3rd, 1949.
Your Coca-Cola bottler presents Claudia. Claudia, based on the famous play and novels by Rose Franken. Brought to you transcribed Monday through Friday by your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. Relax, and while you're listening, refresh yourself. Have a Coke. And now, Claudia.
David, are you awake? Did you hear that?
Yes, I'm awake and I heard it.
Sounds as if something's getting murdered.
Something will if it doesn't shut up. Blasted cat.
Why do cats always choose the middle of the night?
Because I'm trying to sleep. That one has a loudspeaker on his whiskers.
You know, it's funny, we never hear cats in the country.
Yeah, we'll just let them try.
Well, I suppose if I were an alley cat in New York, I'd howl, too. David, what if we threw them a fish? That'd shut them up.
Fish is not what they're screaming for.
Oh.
You'd merely have a whole chorus of cats instead of a trio.
Oh, I'm so sleepy. No wonder cats sleep all day. Oh,
Will
David,
you stop doing
will you
that?
be able to go back to sleep?
No.
Oh, poor darling. Please try. Shut up, you beasts. Oh.
Someone threw a flower pot. It didn't hit him, worse luck.
David, how can you say that about a poor little cat? You know, New York certainly is awake when it's asleep. Oh, David, you'll smother with a pillow over your head. Take it off.
Who cares? Good night. That cat sounds as if it's under the bed.
I'll close the window, darling. It's amazing how quiet it looks. Not a thing moving but noises. What time is it?
It's 1:30.
Oh, awful. Now go to sleep. Good night, darling.
Yeah, same to you. Oh, I'm smothering.
Take the pillow off your face.
It's not on my face, but I can't sleep in a hot room. There's no air without a window.
Well, David, you have your choice, air or cats.
Air. I can't sleep with cats, but I can't live without air.
It is warm tonight, even unseasonal. I suppose that's why the backyard fence is so crowded.
Well, open the window.
The heat on?
No, it's just a warm night.
Cat's gone, darling.
They've gone on to wake somebody else.
I'm wide awake.
Well, pretend you're asleep.
How does Mama do it?
She closes her eyes and stops thinking. It'll be easier for you. All you have to do is close your eyes.
Now listen, Grumpy. Don't take those cats out on me. What I meant was, how does Mama sleep in the city anyway?
Any way she can.
Poor Mama. Well, sweet dreams.
Oh, there's a fire someplace.
You awake too?
What do you think?
Have you slept at all since? What time is it now, David?
2:45.
Oh.
It's a fine time of night to have a fire.
Hey, where are you going?
It sounds as if it's just down the street.
Is it?
No, it just sounds as if.
Oh. David, remember how quiet the nights are in Eastbrook? Not a peep.
I remember all right. I'm more tired now than I was when I went to bed.
You'll go back to sleep in a minute.
What for?
To be awakened again, of course.
Oh.
Poor Mama. Say, David, listen, maybe we ought to send her away or something on a vacation. I'd forgotten how noisy the city is.
Well, we'll talk about it in the morning.
Don't forget. Nice and quiet now.
You had to open your big mouth. I had just fallen asleep.
I was smarter. I didn't bother.
The two cars just found each other.
Probably the only two cars awake in New York at 4 o'clock. David, you'll smother yourself under the sheets.
Mama had to have an apartment near the river. Wait till I give her a piece of my mind.
Poor Mama. I don't know how she survives.
It's 5 o'clock. Almost time to get up.
Well, it'll be quiet now.
Yeah, what makes you think so?
Because it's almost time to get up.
Yeah.
Besides, the night was so noisy, so daytime's bound to be quiet. It's opposite.
I see.
Roll over. Go on.
I'm comfortable.
David? You have a big day ahead?
A humdinger.
Wouldn't you know it?
Yeah.
Well, good night, darling.
Good morning, darling. No, it can't be.
It is. It's like waking up in a dentist's chair.
Oh, they can't be riveting already. It's the middle of the night.
It is 7:30.
Oh, maybe I'm dead.
Too early to rivet. Much. I'll write a letter. That's what I'll do.
To whom?
To the city, to the government.
Oh, good.
Shouldn't be allowed. There ought to be a law against it.
I couldn't agree with you more. Forbidden to rivet before noon.
What? I can't hear what you're saying.
Well, it doesn't matter.
Speak louder.
I haven't the strength.
I think you ought to take a room in a hotel, darling. Why am I shouting for?
Riveting stopped.
Oh, what bliss. Made my teeth hurt just to hear it. I feel soggy limp.
Yeah? What's soggy limp?
Us. Think we ought to go back to sleep?
Sleep? What's that?
Riveting stopped.
Only to catch its breath.
Well, maybe that's all. Maybe it was just a little cavity.
No, it's the Grand Canyon.
What?
Nothing.
What do they rivet for, anyway?
To wake people up.
Oh, to be in Eastbrook now that riveting is here.
Oh, we might as well get up.
I'll close the window, darling. Maybe that'll make it quiet.
Yeah.
It's not much better, is it? Oh, I don't need to shout now.
I'm up. I'm up.
Well, you don't look so bad.
Thanks.
Just a little so-so. Around the ears.
Well, the ears are tired. They were up all night.
How do I look? No, don't tell me. David, I didn't remember New York being so noisy at night.
You probably slept through it.
How could I possibly?
You were younger.
Well, I must have been very younger.
Well, how about breakfast?
Fine, I've worked up quite an appetite. David, I'm so sorry about last night.
It's not your fault.
It didn't seem possible it was so noisy. Oh, well, maybe you can manage a nap after lunch.
Oh, sure.
Shh.
Why?
Maybe Mom is just falling to sleep.
With that riveting going on?
Oh, that's true. Shh, anyway, on general principles.
Being quiet with all that riveting going on is like throwing good money after bad.
We'll be in the kitchen in a moment, then we can talk out loud. David.
What?
When you lived in New York, was it noisy like this?
Last night must be sort of an exception.
Yeah, I guess so. Oh, I'll make the coffee strong.
Don't do that. Maybe we should take Mama back to the country with us.
Or if she doesn't want to come with us, we can send her off someplace else.
Mama won't like being treated like a package, being sent off someplace
Well,
else.
like it or not, this can't go on, poor thing. You know, I didn't believe it when I read all that stuff about the city getting so congested, all the building going on and everything. I thought certainly it was all exaggerated. And now I know it's true.
You do, huh?
Conditions prove it, too, David.
Yeah, well, tell me about it.
Well, now take fires. What do fires come from? Crowded living conditions. Yes? Oh, you agree. Good. And riveting, what's that come from? Building new buildings, yes.
No doubt about that.
Well, there you have it.
Have what?
It's as simple as the nose on your face.
What is?
Why, it's so noisy, and I didn't remember it before.
I'm glad you told me. I feel a lot better about the whole thing.
Good. Now I'll make breakfast. Oh, darling, you do look tired.
Stop telling me, and I don't want any of that noisy breakfast food either.
It's not your fault. Shouting won't make it look better.
I didn't mean to shout. I'll look better after I shave.
Listen, why don't you take a nice cold shower while I make the coffee?
No, I'll take a nice cold shower after just a few more days, and we'll be back in Eastbrook.
Just thinking about it makes me drool.
We'll make the coffee.
Well, everybody up bright and early.
Mama.
Good morning, Mother.
Oh, it's nice to see all this activity. And you must be feeling strong today, Claudia. Why, you're even brewing the coffee.
Strong.
It's going to be a nice day. I can feel it. Let's open the windows. It's stuffy in this kitchen, isn't it?
She's acting awfully spry, isn't she, David?
Yeah, awfully.
There. That's better.
Oh, no.
What's the matter, David? Why the face? And come to think of it, why the faces? You both look as if you've been hung on a clothesline all night.
Would you speak up, Mother? I can't hear you.
Is your hearing affected, too?
All I can hear is the riveting.
What riveting?
What riveting?
You mean that you don't hear that?
That building outside? It's not very noisy today. Hardly at all. Now push over, Claudia. I'll make breakfast.
Shall I ask her, David?
Yeah, go on, darling. I am struck dumb.
What now?
Mama, how did you sleep?
Fine. Why?
You slept fine.
Beautifully. It was warmish and very nice.
You didn't hear anything?
Of course not. I was asleep. How could I hear anything when I was asleep?
Well, we were too, but it woke us up all night.
What is it?
The noises. Cats, fires, taxis, foghorns, and then, for whipped cream, the riveting.
That riveting wouldn't wake a mouse.
Well, it woke us two mouses.
Then you are mouses. Or should I say mice?
Now, stop pretending, Mama. Listen, do you ever get a decent night's sleep anymore?
Of course I do. Except when I'm in the country with you.
Except what?
Repeat that, please.
Except when I'm in the country with you. All those infernal frogs and crickets and birds and roosters and cows. It takes me 2 or 3 days to get enough used to the noise in your farm so that I can sleep.
Oh, David.
That's true. I've never heard as noisy a place as your farm. It's always a pleasure to be back in New York and get a decent night's sleep again. Believe me.
broadcast of Claudia was supervised and directed by William Brown Maloney. When you pause during the day's occupation to hear a radio program, you get needed relaxation as well as entertainment. And when you open an ice-cold bottle of Coca-Cola at the same time, your relaxation is even more complete. Or when there's sparkling, delicious Coke to drink, you listen refreshed. Every day, Monday through Friday, Claudia comes to you transcribed with the best wishes of your friendly neighbor who bottles Coca-Cola. So listen again tomorrow at the same time. And now, this is Joe King saying au revoir. And remember, whoever you are, whatever you do, wherever you may be, when you think of refreshment, think of Coca-Cola. For Coca-Cola makes any pause the pause that refreshes. And ice-cold Coca-Cola is everywhere.
There you have it, another episode of Claudia. That came from March 3rd, 1949, 76 years ago today. Have yourself a great day. We'll see you tomorrow with the Ford Theater and the new Edgar Bergen Hour and Superman. Have a great night. We'll see you Tuesday for more Classic Radio Theater. I'm Wyatt Cox.